to Miss Martin Muses. Welcome to Miss Martin Muses, where we muse upon what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. Well, today we're going to talk about what makes me happy and also makes me a little bit confused, and that is some of the SnyderVerse. Some of you out there may be like me, and you are a bit of a normie. You might have seen the movies, might know some of the background of the characters that make up the SnyderVerse, but as all of this excitement happens, you find yourself having some questions. Well, I have three awesome guests who have graciously agreed to come on. We're going to start with ladies first, of course. Mara Jade. Mara Jade, welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Always fun to talk all things SnyderCut. And I just love the fact that the Spurgs are coming out during the final week because we're in the final countdown before the SnyderCut drops next Thursday. So, and I got my Justice League hoodie on because it's still a little bit chilly up where I live, and I have 3 tank tops on the way. So I'm hoping they get here by Thursday so I can wear either my Batfleck, Darkseid, or Flash one while I'm watching the movie. So,
okay, well, excellent. Well, welcome, Mara, and we have Jeff, the Geek Blend, here, also sporting his Snyder gear.
Yep, got one of my SnyderCut hoodies on here, just like Mara. But the washing machine likes to take the strings out of them and just get rid of them. So I have to put it back in. I know, I always forget. I forget to do that. So I don't really use that very often anyway, so it's fine. But I'm here, ready to hang out and talk about SnyderVerse. And yes, Mara, it's fun to see him come out like that he did today. But just wait until it comes out and it's really good. They'll be like, oh, well, it's really good. I like it now. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so, but yeah,
pretty much.
I'm excited to talk SnyderVerse. I always love talking Snyder stuff, so I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me, Teresa.
Yeah, well, great as always. And of course, we have Tim, the Open Airlock Policy, the professor of the E-University.
Hey, how are you?
Doing great.
Man, a few words.
Man, a few words, yes.
A few words.
Welcome,
man, a few words. Welcome, Professor. Yes, and thank you, everyone in the chat. Welcome, and please, if you feel if there's something that you would like to ask our panel, please shoot them in the chat, and we will definitely get to them. But I'd like to start off with the general question: the who, the what, the when, the where. Why is it important? What the hell is the SnyderVerse?
Okay,
who wants to start?
Well, first off, why it's important? Just right off the bat, like whether or not you're a fan of his movies or anything like that, like this is a win for fandom, like in general. And like I don't know, people like to call us toxic. People like to call us a cult, but most times, whenever we do act toxic, it's kind of in rebuttal to someone who's already starting something with us because it's the wrong fandom that got a win. It's the wrong director who got vindicated or like whatever hatred they have towards Zack Snyder. Most of the time, a chunk of the time, it's just because they don't like Zack Snyder. Okay, fine. You don't like Zack. You don't like the way. You don't have to like everyone who makes movies. So, but like, we're excited, and they come into our mentions, and they're like, it's still going to be shit. It's going to be the same movie. It's the same lies for the past 2-3 years, and that's pretty much the reason why. At least it's important to us, and that is we've been vindicated. Zack Snyder's been vindicated, and now we have something to look forward to that we've known has been in existence for like ever since he started filming it in 2016. So,
well, for sure, and as far as the what, I mean, someone like me, I saw when the Man of Steel and all them came out. I'm like, oh, look, another Superman movie. But what is it about the SnyderVerse that maybe might be different from some of the other interpretations we've seen of these DC characters?
Real fast before someone answers, Ryan's in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw him. Thank you. I will bring him on. Welcome, Ryan, just in time to...
I usually put ladies' brains all a tizzle like that. So that's pretty common. But hi, Teresa. I can't stay very long. We've actually got a stream going on Geeks and Gamers tonight, but I wanted to stop by and say hi.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, then we'll just go ahead and go with you. We're kind of doing a little bit of the who, what, where, when, why is it important as far as the SnyderVerse, and maybe a little bit of the what. Like, what is it that is unique about the SnyderVerse, perhaps in comparison to what we might have seen previously?
Well, I think that as far as DC goes, I think it's the first real live action attempt to build like this grander world, right? Where it's not just focused on, on one hero and maybe, a couple of those ancillary characters like we saw with the Dark Knight trilogy. It's really focused on Batman and a couple of his villains. But other than that, there wasn't really much effect in the rest of the world. Same thing that we've seen in the past with, really, even with the other Superman movies. Of course, some of those were global threats, but we really didn't have anything connecting these other major players in the DC universe together. Whereas the SnyderVerse was the first real attempt to do that. Obviously, it was a reaction to Marvel's MCU. But, instead of directly following that formula and trying to make a direct copy of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which really wouldn't have, I don't think, been too appealing to most people, as we saw with Justice League 2017. Instead, what Zack decided to do was kind of tell a different story. And instead of, hopping into these characters, instead of doing maybe all origin stories, or all characters are already established, he decided to mix it up a little bit and have a true Superman origin story, which outside of Smallville, we've never really seen live action like that before. And then also take a Batman who has been Batman so long that, he's seen Gotham, 20 years in Gotham, and it's done nothing, right? It's only gotten worse since he's been there. So you have this very interesting dynamic between those two characters right away, as well as all these tie-ins to the greater world. And what we're about to see with Zack Snyder's Justice League is there is going to be so many DC characters that are brought into play. Whether you're talking about villains, whether you're talking about heroes, whether you're just talking about name drops and references. Mm-hmm. We just found out on Joe Manganiello's sword for the Nightmare Deathstroke, it's like a Ra's al Ghul pin. Mm-hmm. So that means Ra's al Ghul does certainly exist in the SnyderVerse, but what role does he play? Who knows? Mm-hmm. So I think that's really kind of what makes it important and what makes it a little different than anything we'd seen DC, up until that point.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Well, cool. Well, excellent. And I didn't know if Tim or Jeff, if you wanted to jump in.
Well, yeah, it's, comics are always a multiverse. They always have been, even before Crisis on Infinite Earths in 1985. And, the SnyderVerse was just another branch of that. But now I guess you have a branch of a branch, because the stuff that is coming out now, since 2017, I guess you really can't consider it part of the same universe, because it's not really Zack's vision. So it's just really interesting like that. And like Ryan said, the first time they tried to actually make a Justice League live action, there was a hilarious 1995 one that we looked at on a stream, I think on my stream last Friday. And I think it was more than anything, maybe the studio trying to maintain the rights, but this is the first time they've made a serious attempt at doing a Justice League, like Ryan said again, in response to Avengers, because honestly, if you asked the typical American, have you heard of Justice League? Yeah, because they might have seen Super Friends. Have you heard of Avengers? Probably not as many people. So just the fact that Marvel was able to take that name and create something out of it, DC, WB is like, wait a minute here. We need to do something too. So let's just admit that's where this was born. So, and that's one of the reasons it played out this way, because they basically mandated to Zack Snyder that, the second movie has to have Batman in it, and that the third one has to be a team up of some sort. So
they were playing catch up for sure. Yeah, instead of letting it breathe and letting it grow organically, they just decided to play catch up as quickly as possible. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's maybe is that where maybe in some areas it got a little uneven in the quality, do you think?
Oh yeah, because there was even with BVS, you could see a lot of studio interference, which also transpired into David Ayer's Suicide Squad, which is also part of the SnyderVerse, because his movie was supposed to connect to the events of BVS. So because
BVS, just a prequel, basically. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and but studio meddling on. I don't know what drugs they were on when they were editing the film, but they butchered the editing of BVS, but what the Ultimate Edition corrects. And then further meddling in David Ayer's cut by trying to make it like Guardians of the Galaxy, which, if you know anything about the Suicide Squad in the comics, doesn't work with that group at all. And from that point on, with the exception of Wonder Woman, because that is Zack Snyder's movie. Yes, Patty Jenkins directed it, but it is a story by Zack Snyder. With Justice League, you see that branch just go like this is SnyderVerse right here, and then go boom, right like offshoot like that, and like movies we got after that, Wonder Woman 84 and so forth. It's really not part of the SnyderVerse.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's trying to emulate the MCU.
Okay, that's interesting to me because out of all of the lot of them, I loved the Wonder Woman movie, and I thought the Wonder Woman 84 was garbage. And that makes a little bit of sense because I thought that Wonder Woman was wonderfully well-crafted story and very poignant the way it was done. And I found the Man in Steel very melancholy. I'm still going to always be a Christopher Reeve fan, but I also understand that it's apples and oranges. You can't compare the two of them. But I found that to be very melancholy in Batman versus Superman 2. And I loved, gosh darn it, I loved Wonder Woman. So that's interesting to know about that. That he was a part of it. So it really wasn't the Whammons.
Yeah. Right. Well, Patty Jenkins was directing, but Zack and Deborah Snyder were hugely influential in the production of that movie. Producers, not executive producing like they did for the second one, which really, we all know that doesn't really mean too much. But Zack had story credits. Zack is the one that crafted that story. And things were slightly changed from the original intentions, but for the most part, it was, Zack's story. And I think we all see the difference between that and the Jeff Johns, Patty Jenkins lone, stupid 1984 plot. But Teresa, I have to hop off. I'm sorry I couldn't stay longer. I got to go get ready for the stream we're doing. But I want to say thank you for doing this stream. It's awesome. There's so many people that are getting exposed to the Snyder Cut and kind of really supporting it just because it's a win for fans and they see what a good guy Zack Snyder is. And I think that's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. And thank you for popping in and sharing your knowledge with us. And stay tuned to RK Outpost. And if one of my mods could put in the link to his channel as well as to the very special, somebody has a very
you got so excited you muted yourself.
I have never been so excited on behalf of somebody else in my life. Announcement here. It's one thing to say, "Oh, look, I've had a talk with so and so, and the second credit writer's first cousin's former roommate," but you got the man. So. So, yep. Our Lethal and Ryan. So, I'm sorry, Ryan, go ahead.
It's going to be awesome. We can't wait to have Zack on there and raise a shit ton of money for charity. That's really going to be the best part. So,
absolutely.
Yep. All right. But thank you, Teresa.
I can put the link in.
All right, fair enough.
I got to get going.
I'll see you, Ryan.
I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
I'll link in the chat, Mara, if you want to drop it too. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, and I'll figure it out there. Well, thank you all.
I'm not modded. I can tell I'm not
either. I'm not either. Otherwise, I would drop it.
Okay, sorry about this. My mic is going insane here for a second. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mute myself while I figure this out. But I want to throw out another question to you all that I know that you all will take away with it. Can you tell us specifically what went wrong with the original Justice League?
Really quickly, I do want to say before we get to that question, to reiterate what Ryan was saying about and Mara was saying about Wonder Woman as well too. They were about to let Patty Jenkins go because of the story treatment she had outlined for Wonder Woman, and they did not want to go that direction. It was very weird. And then Zack stepped in. They had a meeting. They talked about it. They wrote the story together. Deborah came in. They wrote the story, and with Patty Jenkins, she was there, and she kind of went through everything with them. But yes, that's basically Zack's movie, and he saved her job basically for coming in and giving a better story treatment. So yeah. But I'll let you guys start with this question if you guys want to, or I can. It doesn't matter.
I mean, everything. That's my answer, Mara.
Well, we know where it started. Justice League was done filming. It was in post-production. From what we've seen, the cut was probably locked at that point for Zack's cut. So they were getting ready to score it. which they had some score done. They had special effects done as well too. And so then that Zach had a tragedy in his family. His daughter Autumn, unfortunately, took her own life. And also with the studio mandating all the changes that they wanted after seeing his rough cut, he just cannot handle everything and all of this at once. So he decided to step away and let somebody else and let them finish the movie. He assumed, I'm sure, like a lot of directors would, they're just going to finish the post-production. They're going to finish the special effects and the scoring, and it'll be out there. But no, the studio came in, did not like it at all. Jeff Johns, John Berg, I believe is the guy's name too as well. He's a huge Spurg as well. They came in and decided to bring in Joss Whedon. And of course, there are a lot of people in the media and the press that said Zach chose Joss Whedon. He did not. He did not choose anybody to come in and redo his film. So it was completely the studio's interference. They came in, they did, I think, 75 to 85% reshoots on the film. You can tell the special effects are not very well done. And the end product, instead of pushing it back and, letting them figure something else out, they decided to just rush it out to the 17th of November when they had that date.
Yeah, and just to interject really quick, Jeff, the side-by-side of Steppenwolf, and someone made a meme, someone should be fired. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Oh my God,
accurate.
Right? It's ridiculous.
Even in the Vanity Fair article, and then not like basically an unnamed Warner Brothers executive, and I'm pretty sure he or she wanted to be unnamed for a reason, admitted when they watched Whedon's cut of Justice League, said it was a piece of shit, but they still put it out anyway.
Yep.
Sorry to cut you off there, but I just...
no.
It looks so bad. Like,
it does.
Oh, man.
To this day, of course, we know Zach has not seen the film. His wife and Christopher Nolan watched the film and came in and talked to him and said, "You can never watch this movie."
Are they friends or?
Oh yeah, Christopher Nolan. And Zack Snyder.
Nolan was executive producer on Man of Steel.
Yes,
they were.
They basically told him it will break your heart.
Yeah, Nolan basically handpicked Snyder because the studio wanted to do Superman.
Right.
And he was like, Nolan didn't think that was the right thing for him, and he wanted to move on to something else. And he's like, "Well, why don't you go talk to Zach?" And Nolan and Zach and the studio got together and talked, and that's how Man of Steel was born, because of Christopher Nolan. So yes, Nolan loved Man of Steel quite a bit. So, but yeah, I'll let you go ahead, Tim. I know you're going to say something.
No, that was it. I just wanted to interject that meme I saw. Someone should be fired. Because
basically
it looked like a bad Halloween mask is what it looked like.
It does.
Yeah, it did.
It does. And I will say this too, like, look at the newest Steppenwolf trailer we just got. Look at how menacing he is. He like roars to the heavens, for fuck's sake.
And you have the parademons like pulling Atlanteans out of the water, like taking them up to Steppenwolf. Like that is someone you do not want to mess with. And then you have Darkseid that comes in later.
Yeah. Steppenwolf from theatrical is like some uppity British snob in it, like sipping tea at tea time. That's what he feels like to me. He doesn't feel like a villain. He doesn't feel like they're really never in much danger against him. He doesn't feel like a villain that's going to hurt these guys at all. And the end fight to me just feels like it's really easy, and they get done with it really quickly. But so just wait and see what we got coming for Zack Snyder Justice League. It's going to be a much different film, and a lot of people out there will tell you it's just a director's cut of the same thing we've already seen. No, what we saw in 2017 was the stuff that was reshot. This stuff was already shot. They were filming this before BVS was in theaters. They were filming this.
Yeah, because they're also I mean, like, granted, like, not saying like these are people like anti-Snyder Cut or whatever, because there are some people who are pro Snyder Cut who are not happy with the fact they're seeing Amber Heard in the trailers, and I'm like, well, this was filmed in 2016, so it's like, can't help it. She's going to be in the movie. You don't have to like her, but she's going to be in the movie. It was pre the shit that went down with Johnny Depp. So,
anybody, I believe actually that she came in and did reshoots with everybody for the Nightmare stuff too. So that's a possibility. Yeah, but she was already set up in the story specifically, so Snyder needed her for that specific reason.
Yeah,
so she had to be in these
cut her out without refilming the movie, pretty much. So
yeah, there's a reason she's in the Nightmare stuff.
To expand the question that Teresa asked, we know it was all fucked up, and I've read some about it. But let me ask you this: why did they do it? Was like Whedon given orders from the studio to make it more like Marvel? You think more? Lighthearted and
I think
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because there's definitely, even still within Warner Brothers, a faction that does not like Zack Snyder, just does not like Zack Snyder, and guaranteed, like, it was for two reasons, like one or multiple reasons. They wanted to catch up with Marvel, They don't like Zack Snyder, and they took the opportunity while he was grieving, which makes them pieces of shit, to go in and butcher his movie.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Pretty much so.
It really does.
Yeah, I saw the movie on an airplane. I didn't see it in the theaters, the Justice League, and I remember being very confused and just thinking, "What the hell is this?" Because it was just very weird, and I didn't like Superman in it. I thought that he was really weird. I don't.
Yeah.
And
well, there's a reason for why he looked weird. It's because Henry Cavill was filming one of the Mission Impossibles, and because he couldn't shave the mustache he'd grown for that role, they had to digitally remove it. So that's why his face looks warped in some of those scenes.
Oh my! Okay, that's pretty messed up.
Yep, because he had to come back for reshoots, and that's our basically part of our point, and says. I'd say more than 75%, at least 85% was shot and filmed. Because a lot of the rest of what needed to be done was the score and cleaning up the visual effects and things like that. But most of the movie was shot, so he had to come back and reshoot everything. So there's going to be scenes in there that will be similar to what we saw in the Whedon cut, because Whedon kept some scenes, but they're going to feel and look slightly different because of how Zack Snyder set them up initially when he was filming.
You want to share my screen, Teresa? That is what they did with his face.
Yes.
This is the opening sequence. I remember watching the opening sequence and I was like, what did they do to his face? Like, what's going on here? Mm-hmm. It's just a really weird opening sequence to the film. It
didn't even look like him.
No. Oh, and there's some really nightmare fuel sequences in the field scene with him and Lois and on the farm in Smallville. They're like, what in the world? Like, it's pretty bad. It's really bad. But me and Mara and friends get to go through that again next week. So
I'm hoping the alcohol gets here in time.
Well, here's the thing with the studio meddling. So, they had hired him and said, we want to compete with Marvel, right? And he started this journey and he was heading in a certain direction. Then they start meddling. It's like, how did anyone think that was going to be successful after they said, hey, change the direction of where you're taking this story in this franchise? They're idiots. I mean, we know the answer, but I'm just saying, how can anyone logical have made that decision?
Yep.
Yeah, there's really no real logic to it. And like I've said before, and arguably I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but I've said it on my channel and other live streams, is if you wanted to create another timeline and create a multiverse because you're adapting comic book lore, then they were already planning, in a sense, a Flash movie. I don't know exactly how far it would have been if Zack Snyder had been still doing his SnyderVerse, but they could have used the Flash movie like what they're doing now as a flashpoint. It's like, hey, we're going to do this. This is the SnyderVerse here, and he's created another timeline here. So if you like Snyder's movies, good. If you like these movies, good. Cinematic multiverse. Instead, they created an offshoot by trying to become Marvel, and this is a reflection of that has no understanding of the IP they're in control of.
Yeah. I mean,
go ahead, Jeff.
With Joe Manganiello that came out and said they were working on a Deathstroke film, and WB axed it immediately because anything that was connected to Snyder or Snyder's universe, they wanted nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. There's a lot of different projects like that. Cyborg got axed. I mean, the Flash movie has been pushed back and pushed back and pushed back and got new directors and stuff because of it. And now it's weird today how they come out and say that Kirstie Clemens is going to be in the Flash movie now again. It's like, wait a minute. That's just came out of nowhere, didn't it? Yeah. It seems like they're going back on maybe the getting the train back on the tracks for the SnyderVerse, in my opinion. So
I'm going to try to find
she's part of this movie. So
a tweet that I quote tweeted about Walter Hamada and axing the Deathstroke and not being against the Joker movie.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff that's going around too that Jared Leto did not say about the Joker movie. There's a lot of people out there that put in the media that put out a lot of misrepresented quotes about him saying that he didn't want the Joker movie to come out, that it was stupid, that he wanted his stuff to be, out of his Joker movie, but it's not true. They took his words and kind of twisted him, or they completely said false stuff about him hating that movie when he really didn't. So,
well, hey, to answer Thomas Gilkey's question, what are we most looking forward to? What I myself am most looking forward to is how they portray Darkseid, because he's not just I don't want to say anything about Marvel like just a bad guy with a bunch of power that kills people. I think Darkseid is at his most interesting when he's trying to find the anti-life equation. And for those who don't know, like, it's hidden in someone else's mind, but he doesn't know who. So I think for a while it was like weird characters had it, like Pied Piper, like was a Flash villain, but just this random Flash villain. So I'm thinking, and this is a crazy freaking theory here, but what if the anti-life equation is in Lois Lane's subconscious or something, and he kills her? Because if he already has it, it's like, okay, that's cool, but I want to see him like trying to find the anti-life equation. I just think that's so cool when they came up with that concept of it's in someone's mind and they're subconscious. They don't even know it. Maybe some of them do know it, and he's trying to find it. It's like a quest for a bad guy. I just think that's so cool.
Yeah. And
I'd love to see something like that instead of he's already powered and ready to go, just a typical invasion.
The history lesson fast track we're going to see with where the humans, the Atlanteans, the Amazonians, and the old gods like Zeus and all the old gods, like they're fighting off Darkseid's first invasion because he's looking for the anti-life invasion or equation because he believes it's on Earth, and I believe it has something to do with the old gods. Like I know Ryan and Lethal's pointed out, like with the power on Zeus's arms and Artemis when she's shooting the arrow in the one scene in the history lesson, there's like this weird looking power when their arms kind of power up. I think it might have something with that as well too. So, but I do love that as well, Tim, about the comics. I love his story as well too. Yeah,
that's why I like comics. They always come up with cool, not just here's a powered bad guy that shows up.
There's some really great Darkseid stories out there too. Really
even someone like Starro, the fact that he can go into human form and infiltrate, and that's just, I love comics. They're so cool. So many cool concepts.
I just brought this up. Yeah, Walter Amada is basically we'll call him the big bad here. It's like Warren Post. So Walter Amada shut down the Gareth Evans Deathstroke film, and Todd Phillips said Hamada hated the idea of a Joker solo film, but didn't have the power to stop it. Meanwhile, Joker made over $1 billion, and fans are dying to see Gareth Evans' Deathstroke film. And here's like a snippet, basically, of like what Joe Manganiello said about it. When the dust settled, it was not seen as a priority to make a $40 million movie, about a villain origin story in which he showed the backstory. He said he's currently working on a 1980s drama. The irony, of course, is that Joker, an origin movie, went on to earn more than $1 billion and earned Joaquin Phoenix an Oscar. So,
I believe Walter Hamada has the anti-intelligence equation in his brain.
Yes.
He is not smart when it comes to running a studio at all, and we've seen it. And of course, Mara brings up that point that they were really against the Joker film by Todd Phillips, like really against that movie completely, because they still didn't want DC associated with dark, and they had kind of toyed with the idea of like doing, the comics do the black label stuff, Mara, that they were maybe going to do like a black label version of the movies, and they never really did. And then the Todd Phillips came out and said, no, I'm not doing any more of these black label movies. That's something they wanted to do, not me, kind of a thing. So I don't think they know what they're doing at all, and it shows. And the fact that they didn't push back Justice League when Zack had to leave to get it finished properly, and even if you were going to bring in another director to redo it, give him the time to redo it. Don't give him like, hey, it's June, you have till November, here you go, and that's it. And then that is a studio completely not having any faith in any side either way. You're not giving anything to Joss. I mean, even when he was bringing in his, I think the Vanity Fair article said it too, like when he was bringing in different cuts of the movie, even the studio heads were like, what the hell is this? What are we doing? Kind of a thing, but it's just a really poorly handled studio. And hopefully people over at Warner Media and AT&T start to handle it correctly going forward. So that would be great to see.
And that begs the question for me, Miss Normie, is, well, then why are they doing the Snyder Cut then? Why have they agreed to go ahead and release it if they got their heads up their butts?
Well, Warner Bros. Is not releasing it. It's through AT&T via HBO Max and Warner Media. Those are separate entities. They're the ones who, particularly AT&T, came in and basically, in a nutshell, said, what the fuck is wrong with you? You've been sitting on pretty much a gold mine for the past couple years. People who know this cut exists, and we're seeing that this cut exists, are willing to pay to see this movie, and you're refusing to release it. So it's not Warner Bros. Warner Bros., if they had their way, would have just shelved it and kept in denial till like the day they died, pretty much.
Okay, and I guess maybe that's where perhaps a little bit of my confusion is, because if I understand correctly, I thought that Warner Brothers had the rights to that.
It's all under the Warner Brothers like label. Like they still have the rights. Like AT&T owns Warner Brothers. They're the overlords of Warner Brothers. They own all of it. They have the final say in everything. It's their final say, and they realize, like Mara said, they're sitting on a gold mine here. Why aren't you doing anything with this? You have people out there giving it like the most, the most trending hashtag ever on Twitter, and it continues to trend every single day. Like today, I think it was trending for the Restore to SnyderVerse was like 131,000 tweets within a half an hour of it being trending.
Holy
crap.
And
okay, so
the fans
I got it
wanted
now.
it.
I'm saying I've got it now.
Lyndon.
This is I've got Lyndon. I've got the Lyndon experience, because again, as a normie, I'm just going, what the hell? How is this? So if I understand you correctly, to reiterate, that they told Warner Brothers F you, and that they had the. It's almost like when when the principal comes and overrides the vice principal and says, "Screw you, we're doing this."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
They're launching the HBO Max streaming service, and like I said, there's a gold mine. People are wanting to watch it, and they think, hey, we'll put it on the streaming service. People are going to pay for the streaming service to watch this film. And if AT&T were still smart, not only would they release it on a physical medium, if it does very well, which I imagine it will be, because it's already hyping up a lot of people. It already looks way, not only different, but way better than what we got in 2017, but also the money they would earn off an IMAX release, when they don't even really have to worry about marketing, really. Like maybe drop a trailer or two and that's it. The fans and Zack Snyder have been doing their marketing for them the past 2+ years.
Cool. Okay, I want to pause here to let us all bow down before the Lyndon experience, all the way from down under, the true thunder from down under. It is none other than Lyndon Hall, the Manchester United fan.
I think he's Lord Longerdong. Is that it?
I'm actually disappointed he's not wearing the Zod shirt.
No, it's in the wash, sir.
Okay.
Okay, well, cool. Welcome, Lyndon. Well, we did have a question just come in from Lady Toriel. How did the mother boxes come into being? That was never clear.
Oh, man.
That's a big one. Tim, I know you can handle this one.
Well, so yeah, like where all these people that are invading come from, there's 2 planets, and it's like a duality thing. There's Apocalypse, where the bad guys are from, and there's New Genesis, where like the good gods are from, and obviously Darkseid's from Apocalypse. And his son actually was raised by the god of New Genesis, which is kind of weird. I don't know if they were ever planning on bringing Orion in, but point is, like, all this stuff came from the ancient gods. This is like hundreds of thousands of years old type stuff. So I think they're just, it depends on what continuity you're reading at the time, but they're just really old technology is what it is.
Yeah.
It's not really magic. It's just, to us, it's magic. You know, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. That's an old quote. So I don't know if they've explained it in the SnyderVerse or not, but
they're supposed to dive into it in the history a little bit more, I believe. I saw that.
Yeah.
Geode's behind everything.
Yeah, Justice League never really went into it other than basically stepping wolf. And I cut out. My bad.
Yeah, you're kind of yeah.
I'm gonna get a
We're all
screenshot
being
of that.
cursed
That's
with
fucking
technological
funny.
problems.
Screenshot of that. Anyway.
Excuse me.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. And please, everyone, if you have questions for our panel, go ahead. This is your time, and no question is too stupid. Okay, because this is your moment to get the Lyndon experience, the Geek Blend experience, Professor University, and of course, Mistress Mara.
What about
they're here?
What about your guys' response to Thomas's question? What are you most looking forward to?
I'm most looking forward to. I don't know. That's shit. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Whole fucking
I'll
thing.
shoot that over to Lyndon because Lyndon's
Yeah.
looking.
Zach's vision to see what Zach was planning, because this is an arc, and even we've seen the boards for Justice Leagues 2 and 3, which are not the boards that are actually he's working on now because he's changed the direction a little bit now. But we're going to see from Man of Steel, it's an arc. This is his arc. You're going to see it kind of like it's not going to be completed here. It's going to be extended. And I walking out of Justice League 2017, I'm like that wasn't Zach's vision. That was the hell was that? Kind of thing. And you're thinking in your mind like that was weird. And I didn't really kind of understand until like maybe a few weeks later when I saw some people I'd follow on Twitter start retweeting Fiona. And I'm like, wait a minute. Okay. So I started kind of digging into it then. And it's, I just want to see his vision, what he intended us to see. He's actually going to get us, I know that everybody would like to go back in time and see you back in 2017. But to be honest with you, we're going to get to see even more of what he was planning, because there's no way in hell they would have let a 4-hour film come out back then. We're going to get to see his actual vision.
Yeah. It's supposed to be released in like 3 parts originally. And now, like, if this is successful and as I said, if they're smart, they would allow him to release the second part. So it'd basically be like a 4-hour part 1, and I imagine a 4-hour part 2.
Can we talk about the news that he might be doing Wonder Woman 3?
Yes. Yeah. It'll be a second Wonder Woman that he's done. So yeah.
Technically Wonder Woman 2. This is 84 trash.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Oh. I think that's absolutely fantastic. I think that'd be something he should do, because he didn't direct Wonder Woman 1, but he basically did everything else on it. So it makes sense.
And exactly. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I would have you have no idea. I would give birth to 10 canaries in a glorious nerdgasm if I could see him do another Wonder Woman movie, because I love that movie.
So did I. Yeah, so did I.
Yeah. And I've always been a Wonder Woman. I was one of those little ones that I watched Wonder Woman, the Linda Carter one.
I watched that too.
I had the underoos. I love me some Wonder Woman.
I did have those.
Oh, well. True confessions time. Truth confessions with Miss Martin Muses. I stayed away from the original one because I thought it was going to be woke, because I thought it was going to be woke, and then everyone's like, no, go see it, and so good. So and then someone else also asked not just about a Wonder Woman 3. They also are. There was a question about the continuation of the SnyderVerse. So like that, I guess if this goes well, will they actually take that branch and continue it?
It's already trending. Restore the SnyderVerse. The first reactions are coming in from people who have seen it, like Grace and Kirby's his grandson or son.
Yeah,
Kirby's. And he's like, yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah, grandson, Jack Kirby's grandson. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, this is amazing. And then that person who leaked it on Twitter that said, hey, man, HBO Max is showing the Snyder Cut. This is already an hour in and it's amazing. Man, restore the fucking SnyderVerse.
Yeah, maybe AT&T will
sleep on this movie. Yeah. I think so too. I think if it comes out, it's as successful as it is looking at now. It's tracking very well. For them not to do anything, it's just really stupid. I mean, if they don't, it's like, we hate money. Let's not make money. Yeah, they really hate it. But I mean, look how much merchandise they fucking sold. Not just the stuff on Ink to the People, but the stuff on the store, on the DC shop, all the shirts and stuff. They're selling out quickly. All of the McFarlane figures on Amazon are sold out. All of them are fucking sold out. You can't get them.
So in the last,
it's currently unavailable now.
In the last month, have HBO Max subscriptions increased? Is that data publicly available?
It's coming. I don't think if it's like, I know it's been talked about, but I don't know if there's official numbers out there, to be honest. I'd like to look.
I really wouldn't be surprised if people were just waiting for this month and then just getting HBO Max like close to when the Snyder Cut dropped versus like when I got it. You know, I did the 6-month deal, and that the 6 month like reversed the monthly payments in June for me. About like the time I did it. So yeah, like we'll see. And I was waiting for my next stipend pay so I could like pre-order those toys. So now I gotta wait for them to become available again.
They'll come back in stock. Yeah, or just save your money for those 1/4 scale Dark Side that the fucking Weta Workshop's doing.
Oh god, and Desaad too, because they're coming out with the Desaad one.
Yeah, and Black Suit Superman.
How good is this Weta? Because like, you get all the best like figures from Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit and stuff, and now they're doing.
They did some amazing stuff for Lord of the Rings. Their merchandise that they've only done a little bit too, and it's like it's all been numbered too, so don't expect like a huge mass stock of it either. But
I'm either
like Prime One studio quality stuff.
I'm either going to go on the heist with Steph to steal Zack Snyder's like books, or on the heist with Jeff to steal the figures from the Weta Workshop.
That works. I'm
Jeff. Heist with Steph.
Fangirls.
I'm with that. I'm good with that.
Yep.
And also, I want to say to people out there, if you're getting HBO Max and you do want to see the SnyderVerse contended or extended, don't drop your subscription like after you watch it.
Watch Babylon 5.
Keep it going. There's a lot of great stuff on there. They're releasing the same day on HBO Max. They're releasing the BVS restored and redone version. Like the new version of BVS is coming out to HBO Max the same day. Yes,
it's different than the director's cut.
It's the director's cut, but they restored it. They made the colors pop better, and they put in more of the IMAX sequences that he shot.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, I'll have to watch that.
What was the most Owen Wilson wow I've ever seen?
That's what it was.
That's a thing. That's a thing.
That's high ground lore.
Yeah, because I mean, there are some movies that I will like wait, like, you know, if it's dropping on the streaming service as well, that I'll just like watch on the streaming service. But they'll be dropping the Godzilla vs. Kong movie also on streaming service, which
Suicide Squad in August.
Yeah, I'm planning on like seeing the Godzilla vs. Kong one in theaters. But like I said, I'm keeping my HBO Max subscription. Actually, I'll be perfectly honest. I've been basically watching Looney Tunes cartoons on HBO Max, just like putting it on, letting them run in the background. They have that stuff on there as well. So
yeah, Batman the animated series is on there. I think the Superman animated series is coming soon as well too. I've been watching the Batman animated series. I watched Friends. I watched a ton of they got some great horror films on there. I watched BVS Ultimate, Wonder Woman. So Aquaman.
There's a lot of movies and stuff. I mean,
there's some great stuff on there too. I mean, it's not just HBO.
They probably have Dream On if you want to watch that.
Wow. The Vault, Tim. That's the Vault, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Good show.
Yeah, and I planned once I finished Babylon 5 to finally watch from beginning to end the Batman animated series.
There's just a lot of great stuff you can watch in there.
Does it have Justice League and Justice League Unlimited?
I believe Justice League is on there. Yeah. Yes, I believe so.
Oh, so great. Oh, man. Yeah,
I believe Young Justice is on there as well too. So that's great. I love that one too.
I never saw that one.
You'll love it. If you like Justice League, you'll love that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
you will. But just keep your subscription.
It's supposed to be a Lantern Corps show. I don't know where they stand with that, but that's what was being planned for a while. So we should be seeing. I know definitely Green Lanterns during the history lesson, and there's speculation that we'll see a Green Lantern as technically a cameo at the end of the movie, but if he makes the second movie, play a bigger part in the second part. So
that's what I think Green Lantern's the cameo that they're talking about. He's talking about being the big cameo. I think it's John Stewart. So
badass. He's probably my favorite,
Oh yeah. John Stewart's fantastic.
I like Guy Gardner, but for different reasons.
I do like Gardner.
I don't consider him a serious one, but he's just funny.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, here's a very basic question. I don't know. Do we have the exact answer to
Nope.
this? We don't.
Not exact, but
well, for us, actually, might change a bit. It's 6 p.m. 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Australians. If you're in Australia, you will get to see the.
But it did say 6 p.m. But the time zone is just shifted for you guys. So I think
they'll be shifting.
No, they
the
will
weekend.
Sunday night.
They will
Sunday night, like during
Sunday
the high
morning,
ground, actually.
I should
will
say.
happen.
So I think it's
During
supposed
the
to
high
be 6
ground.
p.m. for us, which, well, whatever time I guess 3 a.m. Eastern for you guys is, because that's 12 a.m. Pacific.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah.
going to be.
If they
That'd
all
be 2
drop,
a.m.
if they all drop at the same time, generally
Most
it would,
likely they will.
it would hit 12 a.m. Pacific time.
Yeah.
Like kind of what they've been doing with the Wanda. Well, I mean, kind of like what Disney's been doing with the WandaVision show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
So,
It's about 2 a.m. for me.
so for you hardcore fans, you better be taking off work or be willing
I'm
to
off
get
Friday.
a lot of
Yeah.
coffee.
Next Friday. Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm literally going to watch it and record a first reactions video, then go back and watch it again. So,
Mhm.
Cool.
yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, I wanted to dip a little teeny tiny bit into the controversy. We touched it a bit. I heard someone say, well, you're just going to see exactly what you saw, and it's just going to be a whole bunch of other things, but
4
it's not
minutes.
going to be anything special, and all of you
4
are going to just be so disappointed when it still sucks.
Mm.
It
What will you
doesn't
do if it
exist.
sucks? I mean, it's very tough, but it's
Remember
very
that?
nasty. What will you do if it sucks?
It doesn't suck, and look at all the chases we've had already, man. It's fucking insane.
Yeah,
I only
It's
got
going to
like,
be good.
oh,
It's going to be
fuck
good.
Yeah,
this.
I mean, but let's see. I just, perhaps want to
Hypothetically, okay.
to address this.
Mm.
Maybe.
Fuck them.
Uh,
guys.
Real quickly about the whole thing about the controversy about it being the same thing. The director's got the same thing. My wife is kind of a normie when it comes to this stuff. She knows a little bit about it, but she doesn't listen to me half the time when I talk about this kind of stuff. So I showed her the fandom trailer when it came out, and she's like, "What is this? Like that's a whole nother fucking movie. That's completely different than what we saw in theatrical. Like it's a completely different movie." I'm like, it's funny. People are saying it's the same thing. She's like, who could watch that trailer and say it's the same thing that we got in theater? I'm like, your guess is as good as mine. So she pointed it out. That is how,
Yeah, just the recent Steppenwolf trailer, and like I mentioned earlier, you see these parademons dragging Atlanteans out of the water to Steppenwolf. I don't remember that in the Justice League version or anything like that. Where was Darkseid? He wasn't in the Justice League.
Yeah,
version.
no shit.
Yep. You're going to see a completely different side of Cyborg and the Flash, because a lot of their stuff was cut out and reshot. The Cyborg stuff, he said maybe 5% of his stuff was in there from Zach's version, and the rest of it was reshot by Joss.
Oh,
a completely different scene.
Oh,
yeah.
I always butcher the pronunciation of this, but is it Kieran? Is it pronounced like a K, a Hines?
Kieran Hines.
Kieran Hines.
Mm-hmm.
The actor who does Steppenwolf's voice, he was like the first one to come out and say, what you're going to get in theaters, or what was in theaters, that's not what I shot.
That's not what we did.
That's not what I shot. So he was the first one to come out. It's like, you're getting a completely different movie. And they there was a voice actor they got, Assad. They brought him back to finish his lines, but he had roles. He had lines in the movie, because that character is technically, you see him in the Justice League version, you technically see him getting pulled back into a ship during the history lesson. But he had a part in that movie, and his role is completely cut out. Darkseid, the shot of Steppenwolf in Justice League where he's doing this, during the history lesson, Darkseid's there. They basically cut and pasted Steppenwolf over where Darkseid was in that scene.
Yep.
Yeah. I was just going to say, we have a troll in the dungeon, and his name is and comes back, so it's the same movie. No.
When somebody when people can sit there and watch these trailers and be like, it's the same thing we saw. Like, are you just that stupid, or are you just not want to admit it?
They are.
That's most likely they just don't want to admit it.
Yeah, it's pretty much that, because one of the excuses they give, or the reasons they give, is, well, Zack Snyder still listed as a director, so Joss Whedon basically came in and tried to fix what Zack Snyder already shot, and I'm like, really? And I'm posting the Vanity Fair article, really, Junior? When this really it comes in and blatantly black and white says that he reshot a huge chunks and rewrote it as well. You're telling me that that was him just trying to fix it? Yeah. Okay.
You know what was surprising? I went to the comic shop a few days ago, and I was talking to the girl there saying, "Oh, we got one more week." So I'm like, she works at a comic book shop, and I'm like, "So what do you reckon?" She's like, yeah, I wasn't really convinced that there was any way to salvage the original movie. I'm like, hold on. Oh,
That wasn't the original movie.
that wasn't the. So this is someone who's like working in the industry.
Yeah.
Still doesn't know.
Wow.
So can you imagine people like who have no idea?
I probably would
Like
have.
Teresa, yeah.
I probably
Yeah.
would have fainted dead away. And that's why I can't.
I was like, I'll take my books and I'll leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the difference I think between me and some of the douchebags that you see, I'll just admit it. I don't know. I'm a normie. I think that maybe some people.
No.
Oh,
There's something coming out.
people said my microphone. Of course, it would happen when I have a big stream like this. That just I think perhaps some people are just trying to. They're being a little bit perhaps disingenuous. That's my humble opinion, because there's no shame in admitting that you don't know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
No, there really is no shame,
But
but
this is the internet.
it is the internet, and there's like a certain element of pride, like wounded pride, pretty much. These are people that are also denying up and down, left and right, that the Snyder Cut even existed, and they were proven wrong. No matter, like, doesn't matter how many times that Zach tweeted out, this cut exists, and he actually showed the canisters.
How good is it? The Snyder Cut is now the hashtag is now the canisters. I'm like, I should just tag that Scott Mendelson and fuck you.
Yeah, and then it's proven without a doubt that it's getting released on HBO Max. They didn't want to admit they were wrong, so they immediately revert to it's going to be the same movie. It's going to be shit. It's or the one that like basically really ticked me off was how funny would it be if it's just one big troll and we get the 2017 movie again?
Actually, that would be funny if they did that for 2 seconds, maybe.
I probably would arm myself and then drive to California and go to the studio. So.
Yeah, it'd be worse than misery. Yeah, and I never understood why there were so many people that before it came out were so against the idea of the Snyder Cut. I'm like,
they don't like people getting what they want. That's what it is.
Which is ridiculous.
Oh, you saw after what had happened. Like everybody said the same fucking thing on this. Every stream, every show, every article from every mainstream outlet it sets a dangerous precedent. Every single one of them said that line after it was announced that he was actually getting to do this. And it's like, is this something they pass around?
Yes.
And like a note, this is what you have to say. It's like every single one of them say I think there's a compilation on YouTube where it's like 50 people saying
the editorial section of the New York Times sets the news for the day. I mean, and then all the other outlets follow it. And WAPO's gotten a little bit more powerful in the last 8 years.
You're right,
But how much you want to bet that it would not have set a dangerous precedent if, let's say, the Make Solo 2 hashtag was successful?
Correct. That is right. It'd be like, this is such a win for fans. Fans got what they wanted, blah, blah, blah. Even though it's like maybe, 0.12% of the population's asking for Solo 2. So, it's not ever going to get the noise that the Snyder Cut fandom did. No.
Right.
And we're raising money too for a great cause too.
Yeah.
And, it's not just that we want to get this cut out, but we're also raising money for this cause. And it's also a vindication for Zach and his family and what they've had to deal with. And they actually get his vision back out there. It's for Autumn. So. Yeah,
and I mentioned this earlier, but let me reiterate that there is going to be that very special stream with the man himself, Zack Snyder, and Ryan Kinel and our Lethal Lightning, where they're going to be raising money and auctioning for suicide. And if one of my mods could put the link in back there in the chat again, that'd be great. We have a question from Riven Dark. Is there any actual importance behind Superman's black suit? Heard a lot of people talking about it.
Regeneration suit, yes.
Yeah. There's what Jeff just said. It's a regeneration suit.
It helps him absorb the sun more. Yeah.
Yeah. And like the sun, our sun, is where he draws his power. So that's why he's basically why he's impervious to bullets and things like that. So if he were on Krypton's planet, which has a red sun, wouldn't have the same abilities.
Yep.
Which is what we saw in Man of Steel when they switched the atmosphere in the ship.
Yes, right. Yeah. Yep. It's he drinks in the radiation from the sun, and his cells regenerate quicker and makes
And then a follow-up.
You could just go naked, Reverend Dark. I mean, I wouldn't get complaining.
I would not object one little bit, especially Henry Cavill.
His head would explode.
No, because the suit is
I
made
think something
from,
else would have split.
The suit is made from ultra-dense material from Krypton, so it absorbs more than his naked body would. So sorry to disappoint you. Greg, you said the same thing.
I wouldn't exactly
And his fucking head would
complaining
explode, guys. Yeah. We can't be talking about that right now.
Stop ruining it for her.
In the Superman, we got to see him in a tub.
But
yeah, he wasn't naked.
But I wanted to touch on something. Real fast.
She was though, which was nice.
She was.
That what Jeff said, like for Autumn, the stream. That's another thing that Warner Brothers, another example of them being pieces of shit. When they released Justice League in 2017, they wouldn't even put For Autumn at the end of the film, or any type of in memoriam for Zack Snyder's daughter. There was nothing like that.
Nothing.
You know what? Fuck them. I wouldn't want her name on it at the end of that shit.
I know that.
True.
I'm saying,
true.
But
I understand. I know where you're coming from, but fuck them. I wouldn't want her name on the end of that piece of shit. That's not my quote. That's a piece of shit. That's not my quote.
Well, and I'm assuming that this one will have a dedication.
Oh yeah, it'll have For Autumn at the end. Yeah, and, the Hallelujah song that Zack Snyder played for the trailer, that is his daughter's favorite song, or was his daughter's favorite song.
Yep.
Okay. Now I don't know if
this
is a new
version of it in the film too. So
I don't know if this is a troll.
Greg.
Okay, it's a question. I wasn't sure.
It transfers to him through Grogu.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
It just attracts more sunlight
with him first. Rhino has to be finished with him first.
Yes.
The suit's got a tracking fob.
Now, what would you all say to the folks who? Oh, for fuck's! Oh, pardon me. Now I'm gonna start cussing. What would you say to those that argue that it's
not really true to what Batman and all of those should be? That's not what the comic should be.
Okay, so then you have Batman 89, you have Batman Returns, you have the Batman Chris Nolan trilogy, you have all these great stuff that you can go watch that's a different iteration and a different take on Batman. You have all the comics that you love. Go check that stuff out. You don't have to hate on this because it's not what you want. It's not like Star Wars and The Last Jedi, where that's the only fucking interpretation of Luke Skywalker we're going to get. There are many other interpretations of these characters that you can go watch. You know, with Wonder Woman 84, if you like her being a pussy, you can go watch that movie. So, like, but there's so many other things you can watch. Just stop hating on the version somebody else likes. And if people think that Batman doesn't kill in every single other movie, then you need to go watch those movies again. So,
well, even in the comics, even in the comics, he before especially pre-code. He killed. He actually used
breaking people's necks all the time.
Yeah, there's artwork with him carrying around a gun, an actual gun, not just his bat gun or anything like that, a gun. In old Detective Comics. Okay. So Batman not only has killed, but for you to say that he won't, when again they prove that yes, he might not want to do it, but he's fully prepared to do so. He will kill if necessary, to the point also that he has files on the other Justice League members. So if they go rogue and they go evil, he's prepared to kill them. So if he's prepared to kill his allies, what makes you think he's not gonna kill villain if need be?
I have those files. I want to read some of them because they're freaking hilarious. Like
they are. His
ideas on Wonder Woman, I laughed at. Hang on.
Oh my. Okay. Well, there we go. Okay. And I'm just throwing that out there because I don't know a lot about the
law.
The law. I am the law.
Breaking the law.
or Batman and stuff, and so I didn't know. I was just seeing all over the internet people going, "Batman doesn't kill."
They just like to complain. They complained. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll be honest. I'm like,
or they got a deleted scene that shows Superman not killing somebody.
Yeah.
Weird.
Oh, that just came out. Yeah, that bullshit. Fuck out of here.
What they'll do is they'll either.
Thank you, Shaq.
Solely go off the Nolan films because like Nolan in his trilogy stressed Batman saying like no guns and things like that.
You don't break your rule.
Particular point in the comics and forget or ignore what came before it. And their interpretation of kill is basically the definition of murder. So I'm like, yes, Batman won't murder. He's not going with any premeditation to murder a villain that he's fighting. Killing will come as a last resort. But to say he doesn't kill, like, he will. If need be, he will. If that's the only way to stop anyone, he's Joker, Two-Face, Penguin, he will do it.
Well, and in '89, he killed the Joker at the end of it. He did the little, when he was going up on the helicopter. It just occurred to me.
He blatantly murdered somebody in Batman Returns when he stuffed a bomb in their pants and kicked them down a fucking sewer drain. I mean, blatantly murdered them. And people will use the Keaton's Batman to defend that shit. It's hilarious.
Batman, even in Batman Begins, like, yes, he technically didn't actively do it, but he says to Ra's al Ghul, I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you. Yeah. So
thanks for saying it correctly, Mara. I appreciate that.
Well, maybe I'm starting to get a little bit of a picture here that some of the folks maybe on the internet, they maybe know some movies, but maybe they're not as experty as they think they are.
And the thing is too, I think we talked about this on my stream as well before. I know everybody in the panel will probably agree with me. Most of the time when you see somebody hating on Man of Steel, most of the time, not all the time, most of the time it's because of their love for the Donner films. And they'll come out, and then you'll find out it's because of the Donner films that makes them hate Man of Steel so much. And a lot of times that's usually what is the case here.
It's the Jonathan Kent death a lot of the time.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
We just need to EFAP the Donner films.
Oh yeah.
I'll tear that shit apart.
I'll do that again. Cool.
Well, and I'm one that I completely adore. I've said this before. I completely adore the Donner films. A lot of it is perhaps childhood nostalgia and all that, but I also have always known and understood that there's always been different interpretations of Batman. And when I saw
even Superman, like in the comics, like after the 80s, it's a different take.
Yeah.
It's not the Reeves stuff. That's like 60s, 50s, 60s era stuff. That even the 70s era Superman, it wasn't like that. So
yeah. And one aspect of the Man of Steel that I personally found very compelling was the way that they portrayed faith in that. And there was a very moving scene, almost some Christological imagery, literally, when he went to the priest to ask for advice. And as a woman of faith, when I watched that in The Man of Steel, I was very moved.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, wow, because that's not something you see too often nowadays. Because usually nowadays, when you see a man of the cloth or faith or the church, traditional imagery of the church, it's usually not done in a flattering light. And well, again, I'm not a huge fan of Man of Steel. I was really a fan of.
I believe Zach is a man of. I believe he's a man of faith as well. He does a lot of that in his movies. Yeah. A lot of Christian imagery. You
need to read Kingdom Come, Teresa. It's about a preacher.
Oh, Kingdom Come. I'm going to say something really ignorant. Is that
it's a DC Elseworld story from about 25 years ago, and it's one of the greatest comic stories ever told. Yeah,
it is really good.
Okay, because remember, I'm a normie when it comes to comics. Okay, well, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. That's great, but I just enjoyed it. I guess that's just all I've got to say about that. So then I think that I would enjoy Kingdom Come. I want to go back to a little bit of a question from Riven Dark about, I guess, a plot point in the Batman versus Superman movie. He doesn't understand Batman's reasoning. For spoiler alert, but if you haven't watched them by now, I think.
Well, spoilers. Rashad kind of answers that when he says it's the fear that Superman could turn into Zod. Basically, it's Batman's line where it's like, if there's even a 1% chance
correct
that he could turn against us, we have to take that as an absolute certainty, pretty much. So
not messing
that was made pretty clear in the movie.
And and then Riven Dark says, and yet he suddenly forgets that because Martha. It's not he forgets that because Martha. Hearing Superman say that snaps Batman back to the realization that he was about to outright murder another person. Doesn't matter that he's about to break his one rule. That was his goal. Blinders on. Most of the movie was to kill Superman. without going into too much detail, like a lot of it was on Lex Luthor's end as well, pulling the strings. But at the same time, it's like Batman snaps back and says, "I'm about to commit premeditated murder on another."
I'm Joe Chill. I become Joe Chill now, basically.
Yeah, he's become Joe Chill, the man who murdered his parents.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
and he realizes that Superman is actually a person. Like he has a mother. Yeah. He has a person he loves right there, Lois Lane. So he sees him as a person now.
Yes.
And not just an alien who's all powerful and could tear it all down or burn it all down. Yeah.
See, and that's the problem with making something deep and nuanced like that. Like too many people are not able to process that type of stuff, and they just look at it and they assume, oh, the name did it. Well, no, you're not looking deep enough.
Correct.
Maybe if I know, but the beginning of the whole movie was the best Batman intro for me. Maybe if he added the beautiful lie over the back while it was happening.
He did.
Yeah,
it's
like
there
a bit more like, and maybe like a tiny little flash. People might have been like, "Oh, I kind of get it more," but like, it's fine.
It's there though. It's there. You can see it. Yeah.
Like some people, I get why they.
I understand where you're coming from, but yeah, like that is, I'd say, like one of the best intros because you see Batman. This is a man who is a billionaire, and he's actually running in his business clothes to save his employees.
I love that. I love it.
But Wonder Woman 84 had that beautiful light over, so like it was the centerpiece of actually the damn scene, not what was actually happening. I mean, if they did that a bit louder in BVS, people might have been like, "Oh yeah,
it's there," but it's a little bit. It's slowed down. Is what it is. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's not as noticeable for people who are like, "What's going on?" So they might have brought them back to like, "Oh yeah, that's right, Martha, dead."
And speaking of it playing in Wonder Woman 84, I was starting to get moved at that scene, and then I realized what was playing.
Me too. Me
I was
too.
like, oh, it's beautiful. Like, oh, this is great, but fuck this movie.
Up at that point, I was already like, what the fuck am I watching here? And then they do that. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. That doesn't work. Wait. Yeah. It was moving at first, and you're like,
Remember,
Batman v Superman. You like that one, right? Here's this one. Like, no, that ain't gonna work.
No.
I'm looking in the chat, see if there's any other like.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, Jack Paul Casual's right. I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you. That's still manslaughter.
It's still manslaughter. I'm just saying, like, he doesn't outright premeditate.
He didn't push him off. He just let him go. That doesn't count at all. It's not like in Gotham. You remember Gotham, the TV show, where that was the perfect conundrum. He just made his whole idea of I will not kill, and then Rafe is like, the only way that I'm ever leaving you is you have to kill me. I'm like, holy shit, that was so cool. And then he did it. He had to, and he had to struggle with that.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Greg.
to bring someone around full circle, Tim, you were talking about showing off some of your comics.
Well, I went to find this wizard guide on Batman, but I think I put it back in the library after my celebration stream a few weeks ago. But the funny thing on Wonder Woman was the way he defeats her is by distracting her by making remarks about her size, because I guess she has some insecurities about how she's a, bigger woman. So I thought that was hilarious. And then while she's distracted, kind of send in some of his little attacks that he always has ready. And then Superman, everyone knows how he defeats Superman. Clark entrusted him with the kryptonite ring that they captured from Lex.
Yeah. So
he trusted Batman with it, but he will use it if he has to. So
Tower of Babel, great story.
Yeah.
Great story. Love it.
But no, I have like years ago, the coolest thing to get were the secret files and origins. Like I would buy every single one, and they would release a few a year, based on what was happening in the comics, and have profiles. So you have like the New Gods one, and it just talks about everyone.
That's so awesome too. I love that. I saw that
Dark Side and all that.
Damn, that's badass.
And this is like volume. I could look at on the inside something of all the New God stuff. Ooh. So this is from the late 90s, and the chick on the stretcher there. We're full screen, Teresa, on you. Yeah, and the chick on the stretcher there is someone that Darkseid's trying to get the life equation out of her or anti-life equation out of her subconscious. And by the way, anti-life equation doesn't mean it's killing people. It's controlling their mind, because if you don't have control of your mind, then you're dead. Because he can't have everyone dead. He needs slaves. He needs to control. Yeah.
That's what's happening to Superman in the nightmare sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep. And I think it's going to be Lois. That's my prediction.
I figured it out.
I thought about that too. Yeah. If it's not the old gods, like I thought, it might be the Lois thing, but I still think it has something to do with the old gods, because he is coming to Earth in the that sequence basically to find the anti-life equation. That's why he's in there in the history lesson. He's trying to find it.
Right.
I figured it out too late after the comics were gone. It's all right. I'll get it next time around.
You just click on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. Now, I have a personal question. I was rewatching the Batman versus Superman, and the way Lex Luthor was portrayed in that, him being kind of a young, hipsterish kind of. Is that
weirdo
from the comics, or?
Actually, yes. Yeah, there's a Superman story that he actually took that from. It's also not Lex as we know him yet. Mm-hmm. He's not to that point. He's just being introduced to Superman. We don't get Lex. That's the great thing about the Ultimate Edition, is it shows you how fucking smart and conniving he is to set everything up to get it the way he wants it to go, to actually be able to control Superman, to have him kill Batman. And to show the holes in the holy, as he says, like to show everybody that Superman is not great. Just because he's all powerful doesn't mean he's all good. And that's one of the reasons that I think it worked. And I do believe that if we get the continuation of the SnyderVerse and they do bring him back, he will get to the point where you guys know for him from the comics, from the shows, where he is actually Lex Luthor. He's actually going to be in Justice League. We're going to see him in his cell. You'll see a little bit more of that as well, starting to develop. But he's not to that point yet. He's still young. He's honestly, I think his dad's just been passed for a short time, I believe. It's in the prequel comic, but I forgot what it said. It wasn't too far from before the movie where his dad passed away. But yeah, he's starting to take over and become that Lex that we know. So yeah, I'm trying to remember what Superman book it's from. I can't remember.
Okay. Well, okay. I'm sorry. I'm laughing now because that's what I was thinking. Weirdo, jolly rancher Luthor.
That scene was to show that he has control over that guy. Basically, you do what I want you to fucking do.
Yeah. I saw that. And it was weird though. Yeah, I've never seen the extended edition. I just recently watched it, in preparation for this. So. Okay, well that's good to know. And also, if you need to watch some movies leading up to the Snyder Cut, which ones, like just to say you have some girlfriend or something, or that you want to get her to watch it, get her ready so she can watch it with you, what order should you do them, and should you watch all of the ones before?
Well, there's only really 3.
Yeah, it would be Man of Steel, BVS, and Wonder Woman. I don't think there's necessarily a particular order you need to watch them, because if you were to watch Wonder Woman before BVS, then that takes away the surprise of her reveal.
Yeah, go Man of Steel, BVS, and Wonder Woman. That's what I think you should do. Yeah,
yeah, like you really only need those 3, because technically we would include Suicide Squad because that was supposed to be part of the SnyderVerse, but it really doesn't matter. Like not the studio squad, not the studio squad that Warner Brothers released, the actual David Ayer cut that we're also trying to get released, because there is an Ayer cut of Suicide Squad before Warner Brothers stepped in and tried to make them Guardians of the Galaxy. So
that's the next hashtag.
Yes.
Okay. And as far as the Joker, is the Joker as introduced in the Suicide
Squad?
Yeah, like you really don't need him. Yes, he's introduced in Studio Squad, but his character was like just butchered. Basically,
ignore him.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just be ready to see him in the Snyder Justice League movie.
Yeah.
Well, the Omega symbol, Riven Dark, if you think about it, it's
It's the end. It's alpha
yeah,
and omega.
like I am the alpha, I am the omega. Basically, like to quote biblical quote, it's like I am the beginning and I am the end. So when you have the omega symbol, that's the anti-life equation, basically. So it ties in.
Yeah. Going back to the whole biblical kind of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. A lot of that in Zach stuff.
Did I hear you say Studio Squad? Well, did I hear you correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Studio Squad. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what we call it because of Warner Brothers. So it's not the Suicide Squad that we were supposed to get.
Yeah.
What are we? Some kind of studio squad?
I was getting ready to fucking say that.
Or maybe Suicide Squad in a different way. I never actually watched Suicide Squad because I just heard horrible things about it.
Yeah, I could barely finish it.
Ooh.
Like not that it's good, but gun to my head, if I had a choice between Studio Squad or Birds of Prey, I would watch Studio Squad again in a heartbeat.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Because the portrayal of Harley Quinn in that is actually Harley Quinn compared to Birds of Prey, which is like my sandwich. My sandwich.
My
Get
hand.
the
Yeah,
fuck
it's all
up out
for
your
a
sandwich.
fucking sandwich.
Get the fuck up out your sandwich.
Oh my gosh.
Well, at least she's doing a good womanly thing and wanting a sandwich.
Yeah. Go make it yourself. Get in the kitchen, woman. Make your own damn sandwich.
Oh my,
Oh my God! Sorry, that was Lethal Lightning quote. Coming right.
You're speaking through me.
Yes, damn, it's weird.
Now, has he created some additional tracks for this movie?
Like
You say tracks?
Tracks. Oh, like for example, did they bring Hans Zimmer back to compose some new?
Junkie XL did. Junkie XL came in and composed it. He'd already composed. I think it was over. I think it wasn't about 50% more, maybe less, that he had gotten done.
At the most 50%, because that was like again one of the things that just was remaining to be done on when that was originally being filmed.
Sure.
And so all he had to really do, since announcing its official release until now, until about a couple months ago or so, Junkie XL was like working on the score. So we have like 54 tracks, 54 tracks for the entire movie.
Wow.
4 hours. 4-hour movie. So.
Yeah, and Junkie XL's already written music for intermission, so when it does eventually hopefully come to the theaters, he has intermission music ready to go. So
nice.
He shared that on his Twitter a while back too. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
If this hits theaters, then we need to like meet somewhere in like St. Louis and see it or something. That would be better.
Yeah, it sounds feasible for me.
Yeah, then it just drives straight to St. Louis from where you're from.
Yeah.
Come on, we'll fly you over.
Get on the on the I-100,000 and drive it here. So,
Yeah.
I'll get 88 miles an hour first. And
Speaking of which, are you even allowed to leave, Lyndon?
leave work. Yeah, we can get out. I'll come back.
Well, no, I thought that I thought I saw in the news that Australia.
He's out of Victoria. He's allowed to do stuff.
Yeah.
So you're allowed to leave.
Yeah.
It's just New Zealand now because they had a few cases. We're not letting them back in.
Did they have like 4 cases? That's it, or some shit like that. And they're like, "Oh my God, lock it down." It's
I
like,
know.
lock it
Compared to
down.
you
4
guys,
cases.
we've had 0 for a month. We've had actually 0 here for like over a month now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Wow.
The area's been pretty low too. But yeah, it's that's if it does go to theaters, everybody go see it multiple times. I know I will be.
Oh yeah.
Because I do think we do get in theaters. It's gonna be a limited run. I think maybe like a week, if that, maybe 2 weeks.
Definitely
It'll be limited.
Definitely seeing it. Spending like a day.
Well, someone doesn't like Victoria.
Yeah, fuck Victoria.
Who?
Tell you, we're going to be talking about, I think, the premiere because he actually had a fall and pretty badly. So we'll talk about that on the Flawsy.
Oh.
No.
Well, make sure
Yes.
like Rhino doesn't say anything stupid, like what he almost said.
Like
the
when
one
he
time.
fucking went on my stream. Oh my God. I'm not repeating it. That was so fucked up.
Yeah.
Right.
I saw your eyes pop. You're like, what did you do?
I didn't. I was early on my streaming days. I would have fucking kicked him.
Oh my gosh, you guys are so mean.
Well, it's not like
I know.
Victorian.
he takes it. He gets it. He takes it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like the community punching bag. Fucking right now, I swear.
Well, even he wants to get out.
Crybabies out there. Yeah,
Yes.
people need to nut up. Come on, kids.
I know. Yeah, dude, he can take it.
Yeah. So to conclude here, what is there left to say? What is there one thing perhaps that you would like for everyone out there to know, to tell, to sum up about everything with the Snyder?
Man. If Mike wants to go first, go ahead. I'm trying to figure out what I want to say here.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean. You have the
chance to tell some normie loser like me. Well, I'm not a normie loser, I admit it, but to tell me what the hell, what is it about this, perhaps, as compared even to the other Batmans, other superheroes?
Okay, I'll go.
Okay, go for it.
So here it is. This is a guy, Zack Snyder, who took the time. I don't know if he was a fan before, but he took the time to understand the source material and adapt it to the screen. And he is a creator that's being given the chance to present his creation to the fans. And there are fans that want it. And that's why it should be supported. Even if you wind up not liking it, you need to give it a chance, because this guy cares about the source material. He cares about the characters and the fans. And then there are fans that want it. There are customers that want it. So, watch it, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't, but give it a chance. That's my take.
Not only does he understand the source material, he goes so far as to embed Easter eggs and connect things that he could possibly use that thread down the road, that he says that fans still haven't even found a couple of them.
It's non-invasive fan service, right? It doesn't get in the way of anything, but it also gives people that know what it is like a nice little Easter egg. Yeah.
And to piggyback all of that, it's just a win for fandom. Like you said, you don't have to like his movies. You don't even have to like the guy, but our voices were heard. And that was the point. Like, that was the whole point, I thought, of initially the Fandom Menace, and that was to make our voices heard. Well, we were heard. And like, that's how, like I said, you don't have to like the man or the movies, but just take it as that. It's a vindication for everyone.
Yep. Yeah. I will say that too. Give it a chance if you don't like his movies, or if you've never seen his movies. Give it a chance. The fans fought for this. We're getting to see what he really wanted to do. It was unfairly handled by the studio, and the fact of what they did to him, and basically forcing him out by giving him all these mandates. Hey, keep it at 2 hours. You got to take this out. You got to cut this out. This is too scary. You can't do this. You can't do this. And the fact that he just didn't have the energy to fight them because of what had happened in his personal life, for him to get to actually show this, support him. This is the kind of person in Hollywood that you don't see a lot of. He doesn't come out and attack the fans. He's not, he listens to the fans. He's not that typical Hollywood elitist mentality that you get from the studios, from most directors, when this fan asks a question that they're talked down to. He doesn't talk down to you. He talks to you like you're an equal, and he appreciates the fans, and he wants to hear from the fans. Yep. So give him a chance, give the film a chance, because it deserves to be successful, because him and his family deserve it because of what they've dealt with. And now we won. He gets to see his vision on a screen, but just give it a chance and support it. So to show Hollywood, this is the kind of treatment we want.
Okay. I don't know, Lyndon, did you want to chime in there?
I think that was pretty well done.
I knew that was coming.
We got the Lyndon experience, so that's great. That's why we love you. Well, and that's exciting to me, and that's why I got into the hype of the Snyder Cut when the movement was going, and I bought a little mask and was going around and wearing it.
The suicide aspect of it, where by supporting it, you're also supporting a good cause, because mental health is very serious, and especially in this last year,
of the teen suicide rate is up to a shocking level. They've really, really been suffering over this last year, and so it's always a problem, but it's a good cause. And to piggyback from what I know, just the fact that he is working with two little fans like Lethal and Ryan, He doesn't have to do that. He's a big Hollywood director. The fact that he's going to go ahead and stream with Uche on Uche's stream, but 2 genuine fans, that to me impressed me perhaps more than anything else.
Mm-hmm. He's been on smaller channels too. Like I've seen him on like there's a French or I think it was a French channel that he was on, and that like maybe they had like 5,000 or 6,000 subs, but he went on there and he was on there for like an hour or so talking to fans. He likes to talk to fans.
Wow.
Yeah. And even like Lethal and Ryan have said that like Jeremy has been outspoken about how he does not like the DCEU, and Jeremy even told Zack Snyder that I like your remake of Dawn of the Dead and Watchmen, and like pretty much that's about it. And Zack Snyder's like, cool, let's raise some money for the charity.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He didn't get mad or throw a fit like Ryan Johnson would do.
Didn't call anyone a man baby.
Correct. He just like, yeah, it's cool. That's not for everybody. That's awesome.
Well, I'll always be grateful. I'll always be for Zack Snyder for giving me shirtless Faramir in 300. I just saying.
I'm like, Teresa, like you and I were like, it's an awesome movie, but come on, we were staring at the abs for like a chunk of the time.
Of course. Was there anything else in the movie?
Yeah, I was like, wait, there's a plot to this?
We had the Phantom of the Opera and Faramir. That's what the whole movie was, shirtless.
Yeah,
300.
Yeah,
and in the middle of it, they might have yelled something about Sparta now and then.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
that was based off a comic.
Was there like a battle or two, a fight or two?
Something like that. Who cares?
Yeah.
Right.
No, it was great. That was a great movie.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Testy bitches.
When you want to be on the big screen.
Forget her ass. That's right.
Yeah, so it's great. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping up this party. I want to thank everyone.
Before you start wrapping up, I'm sharing my screen. I thought you'd take a kick out of this, Teresa. This is the robot chicken. This is the robot chicken version of the Justice League files that Batman has on the other members.
Okay, just a second. Let me see.
Okay, let me just blow the screen up. All right.
Oh, this is awesome.
Here we go.
Hey, Batman, what's this locked file? I suppose it's time I shared this secret with you, Robin. I keep a dossier on every superhero. Oh, like birthdays? Allergies? No, Robin, how to kill them. Superman has been Earth's greatest champion, just ask him. But if he turned evil, it could mean Earth's total annihilation. That's why I go this. A batarang fashioned from his one weakness, kryptonite. I pray never to have to use it. Anyway, that's lunch. So, you want Subway today? Or what about the other heroes? The key is to be the fastest man alive, misdirection. Well, I'm out. Fire's his one weakness. Yeah, fire's everyone's weakness. It's fucking fire.
But I don't have enough cash.
We'll work everything out. Wait. That belongs in a different folder.
What about my file? What's my file empty?
Anyway, that's lunch.
No, Batman, I want to know. If I turned evil, what ingenious plan have you devised in order to...
Like that.
Wow.
That is great.
Oh boy,
I love it. That was great.
Oh boy, that's great.
The Green Arrow was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Fucking stabs himself.
I want to thank everyone that came in the chat. Thank you very much. If you would here. A like, share, and a subscribe if you wouldn't mind. Yes, as they say in the chat, we are all having internet problems, of course, because that's the way life is, but we move on. And thank you to all of my panels. Let's go.
Every time that happens, I'm saying for sake. Here we go. Let's do a nice solo. And Geek Blend, Tim, open Airlock. Tell us where we can find you.
I think Tommy's been posting my link in the chat. So that's my channel. And I talk about Star Wars and all kinds of other nerdy stuff. Have a show every other Friday night at 11:05 Central after Friday Night Tights is over, and I stream with this guy down here, Jeff, every Saturday night, on his channel, the Geek Blend. It's called The High Ground. And Saturday night, well, I'll let him talk about that, but subscribe and check me out.
Okay, Geek Blend, tell us all about it.
All right, you come subscribe to my channel. I talk about Snyder stuff. I talk about Star Wars sometimes when I want to, which not really much lately. I'm going to be getting into more horror content here shortly too, with the Halloween Kills going to be ramped up with that coming out soon. But a lot of Snyder videos on my channel. Come check it out. I do Canteen episodes every Tuesday where we review craft beers. Of course, we do our live stream every Saturday night, The High Ground. This one was going to be a special one this week, and we actually have Gary from Nerdrotic stopping by to hang out with us as well. That's going to be fun. Have a good time talking, Star Trek, Doctor Who, Star Wars, all kinds of stuff with Gary. It's going to be a good time. And I also want to say I did put the link earlier in the chat for Uche's stream. Please go watch that stream, go check it out, and go support that amazing cause. For people who are struggling with the mental health, there's always somebody to talk to. That's one of the reasons that giving to this cause is such an important thing to help people out. And people are struggling. There's always somebody there to help out. So they're going to auction off some amazing things as well too, like exclusive art signed by the Justice League cast, stuff signed by Zack Snyder, all kinds of great stuff. So go check it out. But yeah, that's definitely one thing we want to promote for sure all over right now. So definitely go check out that stream, guys. Next Wednesday night, I believe at like 8 p.m. is when it's going to start. So go check it out.
There we go. And
which one is she calling on next, Lyndon or Mara?
LM. NOP?
It is editing out every F word.
Okay. So saving the Lyndon experience for last, I see. Hello, I'm Mara Jade. My channel is Jade Shadow. I cover pretty much a gambit of topics from social commentary to gaming to DC. You'll see my earlier videos touched on Disney Star Wars, but I really only talk about it if, like, say, I'm on Raging Rhino's channel because he can't seem to stop talking about Star Wars. But pretty much, like I said, I run the gamut of topics. I've been focusing on DC. I will be on Jeff's channel next Tuesday. I don't know exactly what time, but we'll be watching Justice League again in preparation for the release of the Snyder Cut, so we can say, hey, by the way, this was in Justice League, and this movie is completely different, like we've been saying for the past 2 or 3 years. So if you like that type of content, subscribe to my channel. I'm not really uploading on a regular basis because, well, other than Snyder Cut and Disney Star Wars, not much to talk about that's been going on. So hopefully that picks up in the next couple or so weeks, and I can start uploading more frequently. So, not this Saturday. Sorry, real fast. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Talk Nerdy to Us will be back 10 p.m. Eastern with My Nerdy Home, and we'll be doing a full Snyder Cut breakdown on my channel. So look for that.
Well, there we are. And last but absolutely not least, it is time for the Lyndon experience.
Dun, dun. Hey everyone, you can find me at just basically my name here, Lyndon Hawk, and I have been doing a fuckload of Snyder videos. And well, footy season over here in Australia is kicking off pretty soon, just started, so I'll be doing live streams of those games, but they're at like a weird time for you guys in America, so whatever you can watch will be appreciated. And yeah, head over to that Uche stream, which is going to be just hours before the movie comes out. How is that? Snyder's going to be on that stream. That's insane. Yeah, great cause. And yeah, whatever comes across my desk, so to speak, I'll be covering.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, once again, thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the chat. And if you could only hear the F-bombs that go off every time that happens. I'm jinxed, of course, but be certain, everyone, to watch the Snyder Cut and have a fantastic evening. Good night.